All right, what's going on, everyone? So I've been seeing on a lot of the Fuji forums that a lot of people have questions regarding the Fuji X-T3 and if it's something they should be purchasing in 2023. So let's get right into it. So a little backstory, I got this camera in 2018 when it came out, and this was the camera that made me move from Canon to Fuji. All right, so the type of work I do with this camera includes wedding work, editorial work, portrait work, and even some video work. So yeah, this camera does handle a lot that you throw it to it. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the autofocus. Is it good? It's good. Is it great? It's not. And that's why we have newer cameras that are so much better. But does it do the job? And for me, with all the work that I do, it has done the job, I would say 90% of the time. So yeah, it does miss here and there, so it just depends what kind of work you want to do. And if your work includes a lot of sports stuff, a lot of fast moving stuff, and you need better autofocusing system with it, then I would suggest you go with a different system, because this thing does the work like I said, but it does miss, especially for weddings for me, when people are walking towards me and I have the face detection on. It does miss. I would say I get about 80%, and the other 20% are like slightly out of focus, especially with the 56 1.2, the first version. I know the second version is better, but I don't have that, so I can't speak on it. Now let's get to the second thing, and that's IBIS. This camera doesn't have IBIS, but have I really needed it? For some video work when I'm doing handheld stuff, I wish it was there, but if it's the stylistic choice where you want to show a little bit more movement in your footage or the narrative that you're trying to tell, you can do it. And especially if you're going to put it on a gimbal, then you're good to go. IBIS really is not going to make a difference for you. For photos now, I know a lot of people like shooting lower shutter speeds to drag the shutter and stuff like that, and I don't do a lot of that, so that doesn't really matter to me. A couple of my friends do have the X-T4, and when I'm shooting pictures with it, again, I'm not shooting really slow shutter speeds, so I don't really see a big, plus to IBIS for the photo section. Now, a lot of people can say differently, but then again, that's your opinion, and this is mine. Next thing we're going to talk about is ISO, and how does it handle high ISO stuff. I love it. The high ISO in the Fuji looks really nice, gives it a nice grain, but if you're someone that doesn't want any grain in your pictures, then go with a different system. Even the newer Fuji cameras, above a certain ISO, you're obviously going to get the grain, but it is really nice looking grain, and I don't mind it at all. All right, next we're going to talk about the screen and the EVF. I think they're great. A lot of people like this kind of a screen. Just depends on your mood and the style of work you do. For me, I do like the flip screen just because it does give you more versatility for different situations. But then again, if you don't need it, then this is the nicer kind of screen to have, because you can go high with it, you can go low with it without any issues. And I do like that it's center. My dream screen would be the new Sony screen. That thing's so nice. It does everything under the sun. And if Fuji implements that style of a screen in their next camera, it would be a dream. A dream. I've seen talks about the EVF being better in the newer cameras. And again, the EVF does completely fine for me. And if you would like a bigger one, the newer ones obviously are going to be better, especially on the XH systems. I think they're supposed to be a lot nicer, and even the X-T5 is supposed to be really nice. But for me, again, it does the job. Bright sunsets, bright sunlight type of days, no issues at all, even with the back screen. Even though I don't use this much when I shoot, because I get a better sense of my environment when I'm looking through the EVF, and it's amazing. I love it. Next, we're gonna walk into the water resistance, and on the newer systems, they're all weather sealed, so that's pretty nice. But I have shot in, the rain with this, so it's still here and still working. It wasn't like crazy rain, but it was raining, and even misty situations, light, rain situations, I don't think you're gonna have any issues. And if anything, I would be more worried about the lenses, the older ones, than the camera body itself, because I've had no issues with this. One thing though, I was shooting in the sand, and somehow something got in this on and off switch, so it is a little bit harder to turn it on and off, but it's still working, and again, no issues there. So I'm gonna move on to the battery life, especially when it comes to weddings. I do have 3 Fuji batteries that I just, go throughout the day. Now, one battery will last me from getting ready shots all the way to the ceremony, and that's when I'll change the battery and I'll put the one I had used on charge. I'll shoot the whole ceremony and the post-ceremony pictures with the second battery. And when I go to the reception, I'll use my third battery, and if needed, I will put the one I had previously charged on after like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. if needed. My weddings are between 14 to 16 hours, so 4 batteries should be completely fine for your whole day. So you just need to ask yourself, is this and what I said good enough for the type of work that you're gonna do? And if it is, I would highly suggest the X-T3 over the X-T4. But if you have the budget and you want the nicer stuff, then the X-T5 is gonna be for you. However, this thing is still doing the job for me, and I don't see myself upgrading yet, but maybe soon enough. We'll see what happens. Other than that, next video is going to be on my favorite lenses and the ones I use the most and which ones I just got rid of. So stay tuned for that, and until next time, have a good day.